I try to close my eyes and go back to sleep, but in my mind there echoes those strange, ominous warnings. Why on earth am I not allowed to look at the moon? And why on earth are there so many bizarre messages? Curiosity is impossible to restrain. I pick up my phone once more and check more carefully. The messages were all sent in the same span of time, only a few minutes apart. Some messages came from unfamiliar numbers, but a few came from friends and family. I decide to call my best friend, Min, to ask if he received the same notifications. The phone rings for a long while before Min picks up. His voice is tired and slightly panicked. I also got that notification, Min says, and those eerie, strange messages too, but I tried looking outside. And did anything happen? I ask as my nervousness rises. No, nothing, just the moon. But there is something very strange, very not right. I feel as if I am hypnotized, unable to look away from it. But then I remembered the notification and quickly averted my eyes. We talk for a long time trying to understand the situation. Min also feels uneasy and decides he will not look outside anymore after hanging up. I try not to let curiosity seize my mind. I try to sleep again, but my mind will not stop thinking about what happened. When dawn nears, I decide to get up early and check social media sites to see if anyone else is talking about these strange things. To my shock, the internet is flooded with posts, images, and video about the strange moon last night. Some people say that they saw uncanny images on the surface of the moon, like moving silhouettes or weird symbols. Others tell even more chilling experiences, like feeling hypnotized, unable to look away from the moon, or even, some say they heard voices from the moon calling their names. These stories make me shiver and feel lucky for not having looked outside, but the questions remain unanswered. Who sent those notifications, and why on earth we must not look at the moon? I decide I will not let this go and continue to investigate. I begin searching for weird phenomena related to the moon throughout history, from ancient legends to modern conspiracies. There is a lot of information, but nothing truly explains what happened last night. The materials I find all speak of the moon's influence on humans, from psychology to physiology, but nothing related to supernatural phenomena or those unsettling, cryptic warnings. The next day I receive another notification right at 3 a.m. Do not look at the moon again. My heart pounds, but this time I am ready. I decide I will try to contact others who received this notification to learn more, but it is not easy, because those strange numbers seem to have vanished, no longer existing. In my contact list, I decide to seek out a researcher of paranormal phenomena, a family friend named Mr. Long. He is a man with deep knowledge about mysterious occurrences and has helped many people decode inexplicable phenomena. When I recount everything to Mr. Long, he sits in silence listening, his eyes focused and grave. When I reach the part about the notifications and strange messages, Mr. Long only nods and says that he has heard of similar things in the past. This is a very rare phenomenon. Mr. Long says there are ancient legends that say on special moonlit nights, supernatural forces appear and try to communicate with humans. Those notifications could be a way to protect you from the malicious influence of that force. Hearing Mr. Long, I feel a bit reassured, but it does not reduce my curiosity and my resolve. I decide I will continue to investigate and learn more about this phenomenon, not only to protect myself, but also to help others who are facing the same situation, and thus my journey to uncover the mystery of the strange moon and the notifications at 3 a.m. begins. I know that there will be many difficulties and dangers ahead. A few days after I meet Mr. Long, the eerie phenomena begin to appear more frequently. Not only the notifications and strange messages at 3 a.m., but also haunting dreams, chilling sounds from outside the window at night, and the feeling of being followed every time I step outside. I decide to record all these things in a journal, so I can track and analyze them. One night I dream that I am standing in the middle of a desolate Feel under the bright moonlight in the dream, I feel a dark and icy presence from the moon's shadowy forms, with no clear shape appear around me, whispering words without clear meaning. I try to run, but my feet feel nailed to the ground when I wake up. My sweat is soaked through, and my heart is pounding wildly the next day. I decide to meet Min again to discuss what I experienced. We arrange to meet at a small cafe, where we can talk without being disturbed. Min looks tired and worried, and he says he has had similar dreams. I think we need to learn more about what is happening. I say maybe there are others experiencing this too. We decide to post on social media, asking if anyone else has received the strange notifications and messages. At 3 a.m., the post quickly gets hundreds of comments from people all over the country, and even from other nations. Many share that they also received similar notifications and messages, and some recount even more terrifying experiences. A user named Wong says she saw a shadow appear in her room at 3 a.m. After receiving the notification, that shadow seemed to have no clear shape, but she could feel its gaze following her. Another person named Nam says he was dragged out of bed and pulled onto the balcony where he saw the moon blazing bright and felt hypnotized, unable to look away. These stories make Min and me feel even more anxious and determined. We know that there must be something behind these phenomena, something we still do not understand. That night, as I am sitting in my room, the lights suddenly go out and the room plunges into darkness. I feel a cold current of air envelop me. Suddenly my phone lights up, signaling a new message. My heart thunders as I open it. Look outside my window. I try not to let fear take me, and I look toward the window outside. The moonlight is glaring and bright, but something is wrong. The moon looks larger than usual and emits a strange glow like a cold blue. I feel hypnotized by that light and cannot look away. Suddenly I see a shadow appear on the surface of the moon. It has no specific shape, but there is something very ghostly and threatening. I try to avert my eyes from the moon, but cannot. That shadow seems to draw closer, and I feel like I am being pulled into it abruptly. There is frantic knocking at the door, and Min's voice rings from outside. Open the door quickly. His voice is full of worry and urgency. The pounding knocks snap me awake, and I wrench my eyes from the moon. I run to open the door and see Min standing there, his face pale. I just saw something horrific, he says, his voice trembling. We need to get out of here immediately. We quickly gather our things and leave the house into the night. As we drive out of the city, Min recounts what he saw. He says that when he looked at the moon, he felt a dark presence enveloping him, and that the shadow seemed to want to pull him in. We cannot stay here any longer. Min says we must find a safer place to hide and learn more about this phenomenon. We drive all night to a small village on the outskirts where the moonlight is blocked by mountain ranges. There we meet an old friend, a man who once worked in the field of researching the paranormal. His name is Mr. Tung. He has lived in seclusion in this village for many years. Mr. Tung listens to our story with attentiveness and severity. After we finish, he nods and says that he has heard of similar phenomena. There's an ancient legend that says on special full moon nights, entities from another world can infiltrate our world. Mr. Tung says they use the moonlight to hypnotize and control humans. The notifications you received may be a way to warn and protect you. Hearing Mr. Tung, a chill runs down my spine. What he says is exactly what we have gone through, but it does not reduce the fear and helplessness. So what should we do? I ask. We need to learn more about the origin of the notifications and how to prevent those entities from entering. Mr. Tung says I have some ancient documents we can consult, but first we need to rest and stay calm tonight. Make sure no one looks at the moon. We thank Mr. Tung and decide to rest at his house. That night I lie on the bed, exhausted and tense, but know that the journey to uncover the mystery of the strange moon and the notifications at 3 a.m. has only begun, and I am determined I will not stop until I discover the truth. The next morning, after a night of broken sleep, I wake with fatigue and unease. Min and Mr. Tung are already up and are discussing in the living room when I step in. Mr. Tung is spreading out old maps and ancient documents. We need to understand this phenomenon more clearly. Mr. Tung says I found a few materials describing similar events that happened in history. There were people who witnessed strange occurrences related to the moon and recorded them in ancient documents. We begin reading and analyzing the text. One of them is an ancient book from the 17th century describing a phenomenon that occurred in a small village in Europe. According to the book, on a full moon night the villagers received strange notifications, and those who looked at the moon were hypnotized and vanished without a trace. This is very similar to what we are experiencing. Min says perhaps there's a connection between these phenomena. Mr. Tung nods. We need to learn more about that village and what happened. Perhaps there will be clues to help us better understand those entities and how to stop them. We decide to search more about the village and the events that took place there. After a day of researching and searching online, we find information about that village. It is located in a remote region of France and has long been abandoned. We should go there, Min suggests. Perhaps we will find crucial clues. We prepare our luggage and set out. The trip lasts for many hours through narrow winding roads. When we arrive, the village appears before us in a ruinous and chilling state. Dilapidated old houses lie scattered everywhere, and the air is heavy with gloom. We begin exploring the village looking for any sign related to the strange events. In an old house, we discover an old journal hidden beneath the floorboards. The journal belongs to a villager who recorded what happened on the full moon night, the 13th day of the 73 tonight. The moon shines brighter than ever. We received strange notifications from unknown sources. Those who looked at the moon vanished mysteriously. I feel a dark force enveloping the village. Reading this, I feel a cold chill down my spine. What is recorded in the journal is too similar to what we are experiencing. We continue reading and find a passage describing an ancient ritual that the villagers performed to try to protect themselves from the dark entity. They used an ancient talisman and performed a ritual at dawn when the first sunlight shines. This ritual is said to be able to banish dark entities and protect the village. We decide to search for that ancient talisman and the instructions for the ritual. After many hours of searching, we discover the talisman carved on a large stone in the center of the village. The symbols on the stone are very ancient and complex. We need to perform this ritual. Mr. Tung says if it can banish the dark entities, we must try. We begin preparations for the ritual. Mr. Tung reads the instructions carefully and deciphers the symbols on the stone. At dawn, we gather around the stone and begin performing the ritual. We chant the ancient incantations aloud, hoping they will be effective. When we recite the final incantation, a powerful ray of sunlight begins to shine upon the stone. I feel a sudden cold current envelop me, and the shadow from the moon seems to the scattered sunlight floods the village, bringing a warm and peaceful feeling. We breathe in relief, feeling as if the dark threat has been banished. But as we prepare to leave the village, my phone suddenly lights up with a new notification. Do not think it is over. Do not think it is over. We will return. My heart pounds. The fear comes back. I know this battle is not over. The dark entities may have been temporarily banished, but they are still there and could return at any time we decide to return to Mr. Tung's home and continue our research. We know that we must learn more and prepare better for what is coming back at Mr. Tung's house. We cannot shake the anxiety and fear. Although the ancient ritual temporarily banished the dark entities, the notification on my phone is like a warning that everything is far from over. Mr. Tung, Min and I decide to focus on deeper research into these phenomena and prepare for anything that may happen. One night while researching, we receive an email from a strange address. The sender calls himself Nguyen Van Kai, a researcher of paranormal phenomena from Vietnam. In the email, Mr. Kai says that he read our social media post and wants to share some important information. He says that he has studied phenomena related to the moon for many years and has some terrifying findings we need to know. We decide to video call Mr. Kai immediately in the conversation. Mr. Kai looks exhausted and worried. He begins to recount the strange phenomena he encountered during his research. These phenomena do not occur in only one place, Mr. Kai says. They have appeared in many places around the world, and those involved all face haunting dreams and the feeling of being watched. I believe there is a dark force behind all of this, and we must find a way to stop it before it is too late. Mr. Kai says he found an ancient document written in Sanskrit, fan, describing a window to hell, a phenomenon that appears on special moonlit nights when entities from another world can infiltrate our world. This document also describes a more complex ritual to close that window forever. We need to perform this ritual, Mr. Kai says, but to do so we need special items and must carry out the ritual at a specific location described in the document. That location is an ancient temple in a tropical rainforest in Vietnam. We decide that there is no other choice. We must set out for Vietnam to perform this ritual and stop the dark entities before they can cause more harm. After a week of preparation, we board a plane and fly to Vietnam. Upon arrival, Mr. Kai is waiting at the airport and leads us to the ancient temple deep in the forest. As we approach the temple, the air grows heavy and gloomy. The surrounding trees seem to whisper curses, and I have the feeling of being watched from every direction. The ancient temple appears before us, full of ruin and mystery. The stone walls are covered in green moss, and ancient symbols are carved everywhere. Mr. Kai leads us inside, where there's a large altar with strange statues and the items needed for the ritual. He begins guiding us as we prepare the items and explains the details of the ritual. We must perform the ritual at the time of the full moon, when the power of the dark entities is strongest, but also the moment when we can close the window to hell. When night falls and the moon begins to rise, the atmosphere becomes tense and brimming with unusual signs. The wind whistles through the stone crevices, and distant whispers seem to echo from another world. We gather around the altar and begin the ritual according to Mr. Kai's instructions. We chant the ancient incantations aloud, praying for the strength to close the window to hell. As the ritual approaches its climax, a powerful ray of moonlight shines into the temple, and we feel a cold, deathly chill envelop us. Suddenly from afar we hear a chilling, eerie laugh. A shadow appears at the temple door, bigger and more threatening than anything we have ever seen. They have arrived, Mr. Kai says, his voice shaking. We must continue the ritual. Do not stop. We try to focus, chanting loudly as the shadow draws nearer. The moonlight grows ever stronger, and the shadow seems pushed back, but then it stops and lets out a horrific roar that shakes the entire temple. I feel the ground beneath my feet trembling, and the stone walls begin to crack. Suddenly, Min stops chanting and shouts, "Look on the moon!" We raise our eyes and see a horrifying sight. On the surface of the moon, images of shadows are moving and forming strange symbols. We feel as if we are being pulled into that light, and I must summon all my strength to keep focusing on the ritual. Suddenly, Mr. Kai collapses, clutching his chest. "I cannot continue. You must do it for me," Mr. Kai says between gasps. We struggle to keep calm and continue the ritual, reciting the final incantations. When the last incantation is spoken, a powerful light erupts from the altar, blanketing the temple and pushing the shadow back. The horrific roaring stops and the surrounding space becomes eerily quiet. We collapse, exhausted and drained, but relieved knowing that we have temporarily thwarted the threat. Yet, when we look into each other's eyes, we know the battle is not over. The dark entities may have been pushed back, but they still exist and will return. We need to learn more and prepare better for what is coming, but for now we need rest and recovery. To be ready for the next trials, we have stepped into a battle with entities from another world and the journey to seek the truth and a way to stop them has only begun. We do not know what awaits ahead, but we know we must always be ready and vigilant, because the darkness from the moon still lingers and it will not rest until it achieves its purpose. After successfully performing the ritual at the ancient temple, we return to Mr. Tung's home with a temporary sense of relief, but deep down everyone knows the battle is not over. The dark entities have been pushed back, but they will not give up easily in the days that follow. Mr. Kai Min, Mr. Tung, and I focus on deeper study of the ancient texts and search for more information about other rituals that could help us face this threat. We find another document describing a final ritual, the strongest one, to annihilate the dark entities completely and close the window to hell forever. This ritual must be performed at a specific location on the last full moon night of the year. The last full moon of the year is approaching, and we do not have much time. The location described is another ancient temple deep in a forest in Vietnam. We decide we must prepare everything thoroughly and set out as soon as possible. We rent a car and drive to the ancient temple. When we arrive, it is already night and the moon is rising. The temple appears before us, hidden in the forest and exuding a mysterious, gloomy aura. The ancient stone walls are carved with strange and complex symbols, just like the previous temple. Mr. Kai begins guiding us to prepare the necessary items for the ritual. We place the items around the large altar and steel our minds for what is to come. When the full moon begins to shine intensely, we gather and begin chanting the ancient incantations. Aloud, the atmosphere grows heavy and tense. The wind howls through the stone cracks and strange sounds echo from deep within the forest. Suddenly, a powerful beam of moonlight shines directly into the temple, and we feel a cold chill envelop us. The shadows begin to appear, circling and attacking us from every direction. Min and I try to keep our minds steady and continue chanting while Mr. Tung and Mr. Kai protect us with talismans and protective items. The shadows grow more numerous and ferocious, but we do not stop chanting. We do not let fear seize our minds as the ritual approaches its peak. A colossal shadow appears at the temple gate. It lets out a horrific roar that shakes the entire temple. The moonlight grows even stronger, and I feel as if I am being pulled into it. The colossal shadow advances, and I can feel its terrifying power. We must continue. Do not stop, Mr. Kai shouts. We chant the final incantations aloud, and a powerful light erupts from the altar, blanketing the temple and pushing the shadow back. The horrific roaring cuts off, and the surroundings become eerily still, but the colossal shadow still stands there, mocking us with a ghastly voice. After successfully performing the ritual at the ancient temple, we return to Mr. Tung's home with a temporary sense of relief, but deep down everyone knows the battle is not over. The dark entities have been pushed back, but they will not give up easily in the days that follow. Mr. Kai Min, Mr. Tung, and I focus on deeper study of the ancient texts and search for more information about other rituals that could help us face this threat. We find another document describing a final and strongest ritual to completely annihilate the dark entities and close the window to hell forever. This ritual must be performed at a specific location on the last full moon night of the year. The last full moon of the year is approaching, and we do not have much time. The location described is another ancient temple deep in a forest in Vietnam. We decide we must prepare everything thoroughly and set out as soon as possible. We rent a car and drive to the ancient temple. When we arrive, it is night, and the moon begins to rise. The temple appears before us, hidden in the forest and exuding a mysterious, gloomy aura. The ancient stone walls are carved with strange and complex symbols, just like the previous temple. Mr. Kai begins guiding us to prepare the necessary items for the ritual. We place the items around the large altar and steel our minds for what is coming. When the full moon begins to shine intensely, we gather and begin chanting the ancient incantations. Aloud the air grows heavy and tense. The wind whistles through the stone cracks and strange sounds echo from deep within the forest. Suddenly a beam of powerful moonlight shines straight into the temple, and we feel a cold chill envelop us. The shadows begin to appear, circling and attacking us from every direction. Min and I try to keep our minds steady and continue chanting while Mr. Tung and Mr. Kai protect us with talismans and protective items. The shadows grow more numerous and ferocious, but we do not stop chanting. We do not let fear seize our minds as the ritual reaches its climax. A colossal shadow appears at the temple gate. It lets out a horrific roar that shakes the entire temple. The moonlight grows ever more intense, and I feel as if I am being pulled into it. The colossal shadow advances, and I can feel its terrifying power. We must continue. Do not stop, Mr. Kai shouts. We chant the final incantations aloud, and a powerful light erupts from the altar, blanketing the temple and pushing the shadow back. The horrific roaring cuts off, and the surroundings become eerily still, but the colossal shadow still stands there laughing at us with a gruesome voice. Do you think you can banish me? The colossal shadow laughs. I am part of the moon, and the moon will exist forever. Suddenly Mr. Kai rises and steps toward the colossal shadow, holding a strange item. This is the last thing you do not know, he says. We will not merely banish you, we will destroy you. Mr. Kai activates the item, and a blinding light bursts forth, enveloping the wind. Colossal shadow. Horrific roaring fills the air, and the shadow gradually dissolves in the intense light. When the light fades, the shadow has vanished completely, and the surroundings return to silence. We collapse, exhausted and drained, but relieved. Knowing we have succeeded, the dark entities have been annihilated, and the window to hell has been closed forever. When we return to Mr. Tung's home, we know this battle has ended, but we also know that this world still holds many mysteries and dangers, and we must always be ready to face them. Our group has become secret guardians, those who will stand against dark entities and protect the world from unimaginable threats. The journey has ended, but we know there are many other adventures awaiting ahead, and no matter how many dangers and trials we must face, we will always stand firm and fight, because light will always triumph over darkness.